And ready.
Any type of slip knot. Two on your chain. 1, 2. I hold one right there to make it easier to put through. So I'm going to yarn over like you're going to do a double crochet. And you're going to go into that first bump. So if I didn't have the camera on, it would be a lot different. Then you're going to do 1 single crochet. So you'll go, see what I'm doing. So you yarn over and you're going to go into that. And then you're going to pick up your yarn in the back and pull through 1. That's a single crochet. And you'll pull through to complete your stitch. See, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, these things always get wonky. So, don't fret over wonky stuff. Starting a chain is the hardest part of it. Usually, not always. Okay, so we got 3. There's your 1 that I was trying to do. So you got 1 single, then now you still got 3 live stitches. So you're going to put your hook, you're going to pick up your yarn, you're going to pull through all 3. Now I'm keeping my finger there to keep that hole. So I'll yarn over, I'll go back into that hole, and pull through the 1, so you got 3. And then you're going to single crochet into the first one, yarn over, and then pull through all 3. Don't forget to hold your spot. And that's all there is to that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do like a couple more. And I'm going to show you how to end your row. The crunching in the background is digit snacking. Okay, so we're just going to say that's the total amount you want on there. So now you've pulled through all 3. You're going to chain 1. If you're working a half or a double crochet, you'll chain 2. I'm not, I'm just using a single crochet. So I'm going to turn. Now if you count your stitches, don't count this knot. That doesn't count. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 stitches. This one doesn't count because this is my edging. So I'm going to do a half double because it's easier to see. Typically I would have chained 2 and turned it for a half double, but it's just going to be 1. So you'll go back into your same stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, and pull through all of them. Then you're going to yarn over. And I'm working through, you'll hear them talk about the front loop and the back loop. I'm working through both. So I've got 2 stitches. I've got 1 stitch, but 2 parts of the 3 stitch on there. Each piece of yarn, each stitch has 3 hoops to it, so I'm picking up 2 essentially is all I'm saying. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and I'm going through 2, so I'm going in the hole. So you've got And then when you get to your end of your first row with this, it's kind of wonky because your stitch is actually here, but you want to include this. So what I do is I pull my tail up. Okay, I'm going to have it up, but I'm going to have it behind. So I'm going to go into this stitch, pull the tail behind it, pull through all three. Now remember, if you're doing a single crochet, you're just going to stitch one. You're going to turn your work. Now keep my yarn in front when I turn my work. And to keep your rows even, you're always going to go right back into that first stitch. And that's your first. That's one. If you do it right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I already picked up. That's your border. So let's see what it looks like. It's really hard for me to do rows because I work in the round a lot and I've always got to make sure I count. Now the edges too are kind of goofy. So you're always going to have one. If you don't have two, then you don't go in it, basically. See, there's two. And this is that stitch you do when you stitch one and turn your work. So sometimes you've got two there if you put two. So this right here is what you just want to stitch one, turn your work. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess I started with 7. Yeah, okay, I started with 7, so I got the right amount. I don't know, I counted 6 when I counted it first. So that's it. And you do this as your cast on, that first row we did, because it makes it super stretchy. Whereas if you just did the chain, see, you can do your slip knots, however, I'm mid thing, so I just did a quick 4H. I call it a 4H because that's where I learned that.
Just show me his little cars while he just did the big stretch over. Did you get your drink?
She got a drink. She ate some chibbles.
She's scared of the basket, I see. No, you'll probably be a little bit wet still.
So, when you do these, when you do the chain type cast on, you got your nice pretty little chain. If you roll it over, you got these back bumps. See them? So, and you never count the one you're on. So if you were just doing this single, you would come over here. You don't count that one because that's the one you're on. Unless the pattern calls for you to. So you just slip it through the back loop. Pull it through. And go. And what I just did, I'm real funny with my tension. I'm using the wrong size hook for this yarn just so you can see it easier. So all I did was pull the stitch tighter. And this is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. But the hook I'm using is a 5, let's see, I think it says 5.5. It's a 5.5. So anyway, and the worsted weight yarn is usually worked in like a 6, 6.5. I don't like to use the bigger hooks just for the mere fact that they get kind of cumbersome to use. And always that first and second row you do, they're always going to be your longest, your hardest ones. And it really doesn't matter if you grab the yarn like that or if you grab it like that. But whichever way you grab it, be consistent. Always grab it the same way, because it does affect the way the stitch crosses. Can you see that? Versus the wraparound and that. So I like to do it like that. And I like to grab them like that because I like the cute little knot. So always stitch one, and to keep your balance, you go stitch one, and you're going to go right back in that stitch right there. Okay. Oh, she's just begging for a sandwich. Hey, Alvin. Okay. So, this is the first one, and you were looking at how stretchy it is. And that's important for, like, hats. And when you do this, see, it still has give, but it doesn't have this. These are the same amount of stitches. There's that too. Okay, so see how much more give the one in the back has than the one in the front. You can't really see it, but this is pulling back when I pull it. That's why I do this cast on. And what it essentially does is it creates your first row, as it makes it a real pretty stitch, and then your second row just goes into the stitch that you're using. Super easy.